allow the two children to have the budget every year. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind. Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, my ego don't come, oh, yo. This man not the off in mind.
Hello there.
Ayeguna wamo, amo do. Ayeguna wamo, amo do.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us again. It is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me again. To those of you who were with us this afternoon, thanks for coming back. And those who are just joining us for the first time today, you are also welcome. Thank you. All you have to do is read the caption of the broadcast and always read beyond the caption as well. Read the description of the broadcast. Share it, like it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, wherever they are. Tag them that Mayegun today. Facebook.
you too.
And yet, Nigeria is going through some reformation. It's like coming off circle, like round in circle, right? It's coming in circle. The completion of the state, so the process of the state capture is completed. The president is a drug dealer. The vice president is a terrorist. The chief justice is a career criminal. The senate president is a criminal, a treasury looter. On and on and on like that. The whole circle is almost complete, if not completed. So share this. Invite those that should be here, that should be listening to this. And if you are somebody who would love to be politically correct, this platform is not for you. Those of you who love, love your oppressors differently, this platform is not for you. Tell them, Mutide. Mutide. And you are welcome back. So those of you who were part of us this afternoon. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you. From wherever you are joining us, it is Mayegun Live. This afternoon, the Nigeria Senate, where you have the senators, they confirmed a career criminal, a career thief, Ogbonge Kekere Ekun Agba Ole, that, the saying that whatever a man can do, obviously a woman can do even better. Kekere Ekun Agba Ole, the new CJN, was actually sworn in a few weeks back by Tinubu as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. And today, the criminals, the senators, led by Akpabiole and the likes of Oshiomole, they were able to confirm her, whereby she will be sworn in for the second time as a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. She has history, and her history in criminality is legendary. He was the chief judge that wrote the lead judgment on the Imo State governorship election that gave Imo State to a career 419, a 419er, Hopeless Uzordnjo, and then opened the floodgates to the terrorism that has been bedeviling the eastern part of Nigeria. The act of bloodletting, killings that has never been witnessed before in the history of eastern part of Nigeria. The woman that gave the ruling is now the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Her name is Kekere Ekun Agba Ole. Now, she has been given a marching order. And the marching order is that a lot of people these days always condemn the judiciary. She needs to do something. And those who have been leading the charge of criticizing the judiciary in Nigeria, according to Akpabiole, are lawyers. Lawyers who believes that justice has been murdered in Nigeria judiciary, where you now have a judicial bandit, where judgment is always for the highest bidder in Nigeria, where, they used to say that the judiciary is the last hope of a common man, even an uncommon man too. But these days, it is now the bastion of criminality, where the highest bidder always carry the day. She has promised these criminals as well that don't worry, I will do my best. I will make sure that we punish any lawyer that goes on TV to criticize the judiciary, say anything about the judicial bandits in Nigeria. And somebody said, listen, if you are going to fight corruption in judiciary, as she posted today, then you would have to first admit that the judiciary is corrupt. One of the things that has bedeviled Nigeria, and in fact, the main thing that has bedeviled Nigeria is that justice is dead. The rule of law in Nigeria is dead. And the reason why you will never see any major investor in any critical sector of your economy bringing their own money into Nigeria is because nobody goes to a country where they do not have any rule of law, where institutions that were supposed to checkmate bad behavior are the ones leading the role in the bad behavior. So today, as it transpired in the National Assembly, just a few bits of what she said, but the people of Imo State will never forget this. When somebody that came forth, who is now the terror-in-chief in Imo State, the one that has opened the floodgate of terrorism into eastern part of Nigeria, Hopeless Uzordnjo, he came forth in an election, and few months after, this woman actually ruled that Hopeless Uzordnjo should be sworn in as the governor of Imo State. The rest is history today. And the Imo people, including the people of eastern part of Nigeria, they are the living witness and witnesses to this horrible judgment. It was so bad. It was so bad that the compromised, supposed United States of America had to make a pronouncement. He was listed among those that must never apply for the US visa and must never be found in the US for our corruption. A rarity, something that the US barely do. They ended up announcing that this woman must not come to the United States of America. I mean, US is corrupt. We all know that. They don't give they don't give an F towards what you do to yourself in Africa. But it was so bad that they had to actually ban her from entering the US. The woman banned for life from entering the US is now the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Similarly, the druggie, Tinubu, the drug addict, the drug, the drug bandit as well. Tinubu, the drug dealer, is your president today. And with the immunity and the compromise on him, they can possibly go to America anytime they want now. That's actually not the case so far, yeah? So today, at their Senate, Kekere Ekun Agba Ole was confirmed. And in awards,
in order to ensure that the integrity of the judiciary is maintained, I will ensure that the code of conduct is fully complied with. I will ensure that there is zero tolerance for corruption. A senior member of the bar who has earned the rank of silk, it's a privilege. It's not a right. And that privilege could be withdrawn if it is abused. So in any of these situations, the courts too will use their own powers. We do have powers where a matter is sub judice and somebody goes out in public on the television station, media, social media, to comment on those cases, because it does have a negative effect on the administration of justice, on how we handle our cases. Because when you then give a judgment, the way it is assessed is based on what has been in social media. But notwithstanding that, I would say that judges know the oath they have taken and will abide by that oath and not be influenced by social media. In order to...
You get that? They always have problem with the social media, all of them. Because you see, social media is a place where you can put them in front of the entire world. And social media is a place where some of the things they want buried will be unburied. And everybody can see them for who they are. Including sometimes, if we want to see all the transactions that transpire between them, social media is a place where it's always going to be open. They do not like that. And because they are people of yesterday, they consider the social media as a threat to burying some of their secrets. But your secrets are no longer buried. Unfortunately, you can enjoy the immunity you have in that contraption. The rest of the world knows that Nigeria has been captured and the whole process is complete. And a lawyer, supposedly a professor and lawyer, I believe, had this to say, that if you want to kind of gag people, okay, from making statements on the actions and inactions of supposed judges, corrupt judges, right, who have been given corrupt judgments as well. They do not want to be challenged. And, you know, you have to admit that you are corrupt. But that woman said she will fight the corruption in judiciary. Show Martini, who is deceiving who? Listen to this.
There's this wrong thinking that there's anything contemptuous discussing cases in court. I don't know where they read that book from. The Lord then himself says, you know, discussing cases before the court is nothing contemptuous. A judge is trained. The craft of judicial craft is basically about the capacity to overlook what's happening in the larger context. Right. You watch every day in the US top cases. Analysts have the opinion. Frame, oh, this case is, in fact, they start attacking justices of the justice in the case. Sometimes they say it's appointed by X, has this loyalty. That's not their business. I'm worried about why public officials' first instinct is to clamp down on speech. Right. Of everything wrong with the judiciary, with practice in Nigeria, what concerns the Senate president is how to punish people who are saying this case is on this case. It's a right of legal scholars and legal practitioners to do two things. They can discuss. See, you can't discuss the cases in a manner that you are constraining the judges. But if you discuss the cases before or after judgment, it's within fair speech and it's not contemptuous. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about some of the points she's made. She says it's going to be zero tolerance for corruption under my watch. Can she rescue the judiciary on that score?
She can if she's really committed to it.
What would she need to achieve that?
I think first she should just tell herself, like, this court is corrupt. We've heard it as a senior lawyer. I've said that. I mean, the judge will say, "Oh, why say so?" But that's the truth. Fact, anecdote, proven evidence. Even the NJC's proceeding, trial of judges and lawyers, and sanctions tell a story of very clear corruption. And even the report by NBS and UN.
Judiciary is number two?
Number one, actually.
Actually, overtook the police.
Number one. They took the over. So it's a corrupt institution. So she can save it if she first admits to herself
the reality.
And the collective culpability of all of us who are judges and lawyers. Of course, not everybody is corrupt. The second thing she has to do really is to be clear in her mind what she wants to her legacy. Is it a legacy of the court colluding with those in authority to suppress the people, to look for people like us who are saying the truth and try to fight us? Or is it a legacy of cleaning the court? Oftentimes they say it takes
cleaning the organs.
People say it takes a Nixon to go to China. It takes an insider like her who has gone through the magistrate process, probably to clean the institution that she is. Nobody can accuse her of being an outsider. So I think she can do that, but she has to come to realism and forget this Nigerian nonsense of attacking the messenger.
She also promises to insulate the judiciary from external influences, while emphasizing that she will advocate for better welfare. I recall President Tinubu has just increased by about 300%.
And now they're trying to give 40 houses or thereabout to judges. Look, we should be very clear about this welfare thing. I mean, judges are not the worst paid people. So it's not an excuse for corruption. Secondly, stopping interference. The first thing you should do is to take back the judiciary from the executives. For example, start with new by-year commencement. We shouldn't be having politicians and judges commingle so easily. I mean, that's the thing you have to.
That's his thing. In Nigeria now, judges and politicians, they are friends. The Olukayode, or what is that old criminal's name again? The one that left before her, is a pal with politicians. You will see him invited to different luncheon, dinners, organized by Willie Wike and other politicians. Chief Justice. So you will see judges hobnobbing, laughing, clicking glasses with politicians. And politicians on the other hand, they said that we need to take care of our judges. As they are building houses for them, they are also awarding contracts to their children. And so many of them have had their salaries increased by 300%. Recently, Willie Wike just got approval yesterday to build another 40 new houses at the choice areas for judges in Abuja. All this bribery thing have shown that forget it, the judges and the politicians are the same. And you will never get any justice in any of their courts where these politicians' interests is involved. And also, except for those who are so naive, who believe that she is coming to fight corruption. Stop that. Fight corruption, fight corruption. Can corruption fight corruption? Of course not. One of those that gave her a marching order, a politician, a criminal, said, was Adamu Oshiomole, the ones that just carried out electoral haste in Edo. And that, right there and then, we will confirm you, Madam Justice. But we want you to look into this.
When we complain of crowded court, the courts only adjudicate based on the judicial confined on it by Parliament. For example, when my case went to court as a governor or governorship dispute, the law then was that cases are terminated at the Court of Appeal. The National Assembly, in its wisdom, chose to remove that bar and say the cases must now terminate at the Supreme Court. So we can't overload a vehicle and then blame the driver for carrying overload. But there are a couple of issues that I believe many of us distinguished senators must be aware of. That depending on the party you belong, at the level of the state judiciaries, people tend to prefer, talking about forum shopping, to file cases before Federal High Court, particularly if it's a case in which you believe the state governor or the state government may have an interest. And how we deal with this, how the Chief Justice of the Federation can encourage judges in the states to show the same level of courage to pronounce where it's so discovered that a state government or a state interest, a state governor has crossed the red line. But people should feel able to go to a state high court and get justice. I don't want to rush to federal high court because of the fear that judges, in many cases at the state level, don't want to enter judgment that will be offensive to the state executive. That is recently in the state, and for obvious reasons, I won't mention the state. The National Judicial Council approved the appointment of new judges, which is in line with the Constitution. But the state governor in Benin decided, I didn't mention him, I mentioned a city. A state governor in Benin refused to swear in. Excuse me.
You are protected. You did not mention the state. You only mentioned Benin.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Benin is not a state.
That's right. So, as we speak, those judges were not sworn in, even though they have been cleared by the National Judicial Council. When I was a governor, sir, there was a case, a judgment against the state government. But because the governor has immunity, the judge decided to sentence, to convict the Attorney General for contempt of court. So I'm like, if a state governor disobeys a ruling of a superior court, and because the governor has immunity, there is nothing you can do, I would have expected that the Attorney General will be charged for contempt of court or showing disrespect to the National Judicial Council, so that the discretion we exercise should not be abused to the extent that all of the processes that the National Judicial Council goes through to select and approve and forward to the governor for ratification. I am sure, Mr. President, you approve many such recommendations, not necessarily because you like the persons, but in the wisdom of the National Judicial Council, they've cleared them. So I thought that there might be, like to know whether a legislation is required or the Supreme Court, being a policy court, what it can do to help to curtail abuse of power at the level of the state. And lastly, there was this case of Mr. I don't know whether I should mention his name, a guy who was sentenced to 3 years in prison, up to the Court of Appeal. And the Supreme Court found that this was a criminal case that had to do with somebody who operated.
Anyway, just so you shall know that a bunch of criminals are the ones that are confirming judges or justices or Chief Justice of Nigeria. So you can see the assemblage of crook. If Nigeria justice system or criminal justice system is working, I can promise you this, 90% of those inside that room, including the woman they are confirming, they will be in jail, no doubt. But it is Nigeria. Criminals don't go to jail. In Nigeria, the bigger your crime, or the bigger or massive your criminal life, the bigger the reward, the better the reward. Nigeria is a place where criminality is rewarded. You just need to kind of weigh the level of criminality you want to, yeah? For instance, we now have a situation where the same EFCC, an agency of government, has been going left, right, and center explaining to us why they could not actually arrest this criminal, Bello. He is called Yahoo Bello now, by the way. So, Yahoo Bello or Yahoo Bello, according to the EFCC, they have now amended Yahoo Bello's charges. According to them, before now, Bello was being sort of wanted for stealing 80.5 billion naira of Kogi State's money. Kogi State has no drinking water. More than 90% of Kogi roads are unmotorable. They do not have any good healthcare system. There is no good education system. But yet, one single person stole over 110 billion. And all we get is for the EFCC explaining to us on TV why they are still looking for him and why it is difficult to get him.
Bello, in appearing at the car park of the EFCC on the 18th of September this month. I think we will have a better understanding of what transpired on that day when we reviewed what really happened. For instance, even before Bello arrived at the car park of the EFCC, he had already sent out media information across all the platforms that he had presented himself to the EFCC, and they were even saying that he has been detained. And that was not true. At the time that information got across, Bello was not even in the premises of the EFCC. He had not even arrived there. So that for us was an indication that he had a game plan, which was not a matter of just merely submitting himself to the commission. And that game plan can only be explained by himself alone. And from our review of what really happened, it was simply a case of the former governor, the current governor, Governor Ododo, being conscious of the fact that he was turning himself into an accomplice of a crime probably he didn't know about. Because all this while that Bello has been dodging EFCC and stalling proceedings, he has been hiding in government house in Lokoja. And his escape, when we made an attempt to arrest him, the first attempt to arrest him, it was the same governor that took him away. I'm sure his minders went and told him that, look, what you are doing, Mr. Governor, you probably, after you leave office, you will probably be liable for prosecution for obstructing justice. And I believe that was the reason why Governor Ododo brought Bello to the car park of the EFCC. But that was not what the Court of Appeal asked them to do. The decision of the Court of Appeal was to say, go and present yourself before Justice Nwiti. That was the ruling, not present yourself before the car park of the EFCC. And in coming to the EFCC, for instance, they breached all protocol. The security at our entrance, probably out of courtesy to a sitting governor, allowed Governor Dodo to drive into our car park. And if they were responsible citizens who wanted to comply by the law, what they should have done immediately they arrive at our premises is to go to the security post and to tell the security on guard that, look, Yahya Bello has come to present himself to the EFCC. And those on duty know what to do when a fugitive from the law presents himself to the EFCC. What they should have done there and then was to call the case officer and tell him that, look, the suspect we have been looking for is here now. And then we will take charge. But they didn't do that. They breached our security, breached our protocol, went into the car park and were taking photographs, which is not allowed within the premises of the EFCC. And Governor Dodo was insisting on seeing the executive chairman of the EFCC. That is not what you do when you want to submit a suspect to a law enforcement agency. The chairman of the commission is not the case officer. I'm sure, Dr. Abati, you have an encounter with the EFCC. You know that the chairman of the commission does not investigate matter. He's not a case officer in any case. We have a team that is investigating.
Can you hear us? Mr.
Yeah,
Wujaren, okay.
I'm with you.
I really want to just come in here because our time.
We'll get to that. In respect of the new charges that was filed against him on the 24th of this month, it has to do with case conversion of properties. The allegation is that he took advantage of his access to the Kogi treasury to help himself to funds, which he now uses in procuring properties in Abuja and as far away as Dubai. That is a separate matter that is coming up before the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja. Those who are familiar with financial crimes know that if you have a money laundering charge, there's something that we call predicate offense, and you have the opportunity to also go to another court to file charges and prosecute the same person on lesser crimes that he also committed in respect of this same situation that he found himself. That is in terms of the other charge. That, for instance, should serve
nuisance lele.
You hear the jack kati. You hear the kati. The way is spewing out. The case enter Yahya Bello's or Yahoo Bello's matter now. EFCC going to talk kati. You should not have come to our car park. Yeah, it's a courtesy. You should have gone to our office and say, okay, I am here to report myself. Kati. EFCC will go bump. They go jump the fence of your house. They will break through the ceiling of your house and break into the room of your house because they say they have a warrant to arrest you. Suddenly, they started talking kati. Yeah, Bello is he knows as a courtesy, as a nya. I beg, who is that so dumb to believe that moron? Is probably not a moron though, right? It is just to let you know that in Nigeria, the bigger your crime, the bigger the reward. Imagine, Yahoo boys in Nigeria, according to Peter Obi, if you combine all of the money that the Yahoo boys make illegally, talking about internet fraudsters in Nigeria, if you had all the money they make in a single year, it's not up to how much Nigerian politicians steal from Nigeria in a single day. Take a look at this. According to them, say in 2023, Yahya Bello bought a property, 950 million property in Maitama. In 2022, he bought a property worth 170 million. In 2020, 66 million. In 2022, 5.7 million. Diran property, 5.7 million Diran in Dubai, right? In 2021, 570,000. In 2021 again, dollars, 100 million naira property in Abuja. What happened to those properties? Have they collected those properties from him? We'll even first start with that. Do you know that up to this moment, not a single property of Yahya Bello or Yahoo Bello has been confiscated? Also, there is no court case that says all these properties have to be confiscated they want to be confiscated by EFCC. No. There is no single bank account of Yahya Bello, Yahoo Bello, that has been confiscated or frozen. No, normally what they do, they will freeze your account. Yahya Bello is still living large. The only thing is that they want you to believe that they are looking for him when they are not. And then that's why I love this guy. He said, listen, you see, Tinubu is planning to, what do you call it? Bayo Onafunnuga said, there are some ministers of Tinubu, they are not telling you good things about Tinubu, so therefore Tinubu is going to change his cabinet very soon. And this guy said, well, maybe they should just make Bello finance minister. What do you think?
A minister or a group of ministers are supposed to portray what they have done for the country. If there were a cabinet in place, a functional, reliable, dependable, competent, qualified cabinet, we shouldn't be in this abject poverty. We shouldn't be in this insecurity. Educational institutions collapsed. Health institutions collapsed. Penury all over the horizon. People live in abject poverty. Nobody is sure at home, in the industry, in workplace, even in cemetery. People have been pauperized. 200 million people facing poverty, 134 million people in abject poverty, 44 million children out of school, 75 million Nigerians are hypertensive. Of them, only 20 are on medication. The remaining are aware that they have hypertension, but they can't afford the money. I can continue ad infinitum. So what is there to celebrate? What is there to change? I think rather than changing the cabinet, he should include the cabinet. Like I would recommend him 3 people for employment. I recommend that he appoints Bello as the Minister for Finance so that he can continue from where he stopped. He can also appoint Shein, his son, because what is the difference between Shein and a minister? He flies presidential jet. He attends cabinet meetings, federal cabinet meetings. He inspects guard of honors. I saw him in Maiduguri where he donated 500 million naira. He was received by the governor, by all permanent secretaries, by all commissioners. Commissioner of police were there, other security agents were there. He was inspecting a guard of honor. He should appoint his son Shein as the chief of staff and add him another portfolio of minister for culture so that he can hold as many parties as he can. I can also recommend that he appoints Rarara, that house musician who only promotes people that are of questionable circumstances. I think that will make the cabinet look better.
Oh, I was expecting him to mention himself too. He's also a criminal, by the way. Mahdi. Oh, Nigeria Olida. If you are the type that somehow you are building this supposed hope on Nigeria, don't waste it. Okay? It is either you are hallucinating or you are just another scammer waiting for his own turn, telling everybody who is as gullible as any Nigerian can be that Nigeria will be great. How? Bayo Onafunnuga was speaking to the press just yesterday, and then he hinted that the reason why all of you are not seeing the good work of Tinubu, the great thing is done, is because some ministers are not telling you how great Tinubu's work has been, how massive is helping to save you, all of you. The only thing you are seeing is that you are hungry, the economy is bad, they are looting money, they are, oh, come on. So they need to reshuffle the cabinet, shove out some people, bring in some others that can tell you, when you say you are hungry, they will say you are lying. You are lying. Look at these people. This one's dead. Are you hungry? They say, no, we are not hungry. I say, see? Because you are hungry doesn't mean that everybody is hungry. Because you are poor doesn't mean that everybody is poor. Because your children is now out of school doesn't mean that everyone's child is out of school. So they need ministers to come and tell you that since you know the benefit, no others know the benefit. Therefore, in the next couple of days or weeks, God knows, Tinubu will change his cabinet and bring in more proper propagandists. And I actually recommend, what do you call his name? Reno Mokri, as well as that Bala guy. These guys have been overworking, and it seems that they are working for free. Onafunnuga.
As a cabinet reshuffle, let me tell you, I don't have any timeline. The president has expressed his desire to reshuffle his cabinet, and he will do it. I don't know whether he wants to do it before October 1, but he will surely do it. So that's what I will say. He has not given us any timeline when he wants to do it, but he will do it. He has expressed his plan. He wants to do it. He wants to reshuffle. Then, as to the third fund problem, well, I don't know whether third fund has been doing a lot of work, helping universities, not just even education, college education or polytechnics and so on, but doing a lot of work. Well, government must have looked at the money accruing to it, and must have felt that maybe if you take away 30% of whatever comes to it, it will also help the students who go to all those schools. Because that's what the whole idea is all about. The idea of NEF is to make sure that all our children, wherever they may be, are able to go to school, even if their parents are poor. So, and therefore cannot just be building assembly halls or laboratories without making sure that even the students who are going to use the facilities are able to use them with loans from NEF fund. So that may be the logic of government, that let's TEF fund also fund NEF fund. The NEF fund money will not only come from TEF fund, there will also be budgetary allocation from the federal government to TEF fund, to NEF fund all the time. So this one is supplementary. It's not only the money that NEF fund will use. So I think, does that answer your questions?
Can I add some? Yeah. Yes. I also like to add some things to what Mr. Bayo Onafunnuga has said. We also need to realize that the president's decision to reshuffle is also based on empirical evidence. You know, he has said it when he was doing the retreat for the ministers that it was going to, they were going to have periodic reviews, and the decisions that are extracted from those reviews will be used to make that final decision. I know he's gotten a couple of reports, and as Mr. Onafunnuga said, when he's ready to do that, I believe he will. There was another thing that was also mentioned in terms of funding for NEL funds. Don't forget that recently in the president's speech during the protests, he also ensured that some monies gotten from illegal activities were moved to also fund NEL fund. And he did that and used it to fund both NEL fund and credit call. Also, there's something else that this government has done. All universities before used to give a portion of the IGR. They used to remit it to the federal government. That has been stopped. So all IGR that universities get, because you mentioned universities and how they can fund themselves, we know they need a lot more funding. We know the budgetary allocations to education can be improved, but a lot is being done, at least in the interim, to bridge whatever funding gaps that they have. And then in terms of Coca-Cola, at the end of the day, they're a private organization. But I also know that they've done one of the largest acquisitions in the foods and beverage sector, to go into juices in the past 5 years in this country. And I think they spent almost $1.5 billion, in the past few years, which they're, backing up with additional $1 billion for the next 5 years. So I think the government is willing, the government is open. Just like Mr. Onafunnuga said in his brief, you saw that even more money and more investments are coming into this country. Total recently partnered with NNPC for the $550 million Ubeta project, which is a gas development project. And at the Vice President Shetima's meeting with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, about $320 million worth of investments were also pledged to the country. So I think that covers it all from this side.
Nuisance, Lele.
Who be that one? Okay, he's a trainee. Right. Since they have chased away Akuri Nigalailai, they are building team. And I actually hope they give this one job. The Buala guy.
The fact that given what this administration has achieved, very little has been conveyed to the Nigerian people. And oftentimes it's because some people feel that the media is hostile to government. No, the media's responsibility is call people in public office to account on behalf of the Nigerian people. And the media use their mouth in asking, you use your mouth to answer. So why should you be afraid of coming out to talk on behalf of the president? Then there are other agents of government that very sadly, their attitude suggests that they don't even believe in the president. They rather want to play safe. So because there is an outcry about economic reform, which the consequence has brought a little bit of hardship to the Nigerian people, and we're all trying to navigate our way, they feel that if they put themselves in the line defending the government, they will incur the wrath of the people. So they want to be clever by heart or smart. They will rather that they stay behind, let others do the talk, hoping that that way they will be able to cover themselves from the backlash of the people. But this is my philosophy. If you believe in someone, it is like the case of a bodyguard. You are to take the bullet for the person. And most importantly, if you believe in someone, it is your duty to study what he has achieved and be able to convey to the Nigerian people. And even where you think that there is probably a failure, we are not afraid to fail in life. Government is not afraid to fail. But what you must always judge with government is that at every given time, the motive of the government, the intention of the government, and the accountability that the government brings to the people should be a factor for assessment. Not necessarily because you want to see some extraordinary thing before you do that. So the president is assessing whether some people believe in his administration, because if you do, you will be a messenger of what you believe in. But as to say, who should go and who should stay is the prerogative of the president. Only the president knows who will go and who will stay. Anybody else who tells you he knows who will go and who will stay, I think the person is either second guessing or the person is not being fair to himself.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
That was Atifu's spokesperson. No? As at March 2023, this guy was still saying that Atifu won election. And Atifu will gain back his mandate in court. Today, he is now one of the front spokesperson for Tinubu. He said some people appointed by Tinubu, they are afraid to come and tell you what Tinubu is doing because they are playing safe. They do not want the backlash of the people. Why should there be any backlash? If you are doing the right thing, you are the minister of this, Abi. You are this or that, and you know that you are doing something, Abi, and you want to tell the people what you are doing. Why then should there be a backlash or backlashes? If your purpose is not to lie to them, like you are saying the truth of what Tinubu is doing, Abi. So why are you afraid to say it out? I hope they hire him before next month so that they can pile up. Tinubu, when Tinubu got himself into that position, right? Tinubu appointed over 300 media spokesperson. I don't know if some of you still remember that. Do you? You don't know. You don't know nothing. Tinubu appointed, the first appointment Tinubu made were on media because they needed to control the narrative. And you can only control narrative if you have something to offer. Okay? You are pronouncing policies after policies that are continuing to cripple and destroy Nigeria and Nigerians. And immediately you are pronouncing those policies, the lives of Nigerians continue to deteriorate, crumble. So how many lies do you think you need to convince them that you mean well for them? Not what you are showing them or not what they are saying, but you are telling them that even though they may be feeling harder and harder, you still mean them. You still mean well for them. So Tinubu already hired over 1,000 media men, in case if you don't know. Under Onafunnuga alone, before Akuri Nigalailai left, Akuri Nigalailai had more than 60 aides. Akuri alone has more than 60 people where they draw salary. Their job is to infiltrate the social media, infiltrate the conventional media, to continue to tell you to give Tinubu time. But at the end of the day, now we they control social media. You have no idea what that means. A lot of us who are on this social media, especially most Nigerians, they are on social media. They are doing it for free. Yeah? They are not waiting to be paid to scrutinize and expose. So even if you hire 10,000 media people, they cannot stand us. They can't stand us. Because what they won't talk. That we already don't have counter evidence against them. Which one you won't talk? If you go on radio, if you go on TV, the moment the clip made it to the internet, we will scatter it, break it into pieces, make trash of it, and your effort is zero. Before they go lie to you, and it will still last for like a week or two. Today, if they lie in the morning, by 2 p.m. in the afternoon, we don't trash them. To the point that instead of them to be on offensive, they became defensive. They started calling majority of us enemies of Nigeria. We don't just see anything good. So yeah, show us the good thing now. Did they pay you? 1,300 people are working in the media of the Tinubu alone. Some of them are like faceless. They collect salary. And they can't be like, say, know the show at all. All the ministers, if you go check them, now all of them get media this, media that. And on social media, it is just not working. If it didn't day, it didn't day. That's why I kind of feel sorry for some of you. The bad idiot, the bad start, the Ronukus, the Yoruba Ponus, the Ronu Nazis. I feel sorry for you. You are suffering two losses. Number one, you are expecting these people to do something so that you can have something to celebrate. Yet they have nothing to show to you to celebrate. Then you will come on social media and want to do the job for them for free with empty stomach. Imagine defending Tinubu with empty stomach. As in normal. In Yoruba language, we say, now, of course, they worry you. They know they pay you. The economy is tough. You never chop. You still manage to load 100 naira data, 200 naira data to defend Tinubu, defend the APC. Now, of course, there are people that they pay 200,000, 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. Their job is to come and lie to you on social media, to try to exaggerate something. Oh, can't you see the student loan? Loan? When before these criminals came, there's something called the education subsidy. And they actually were giving people grants. I'm talking about millions of naira. Grants, no loan, no, grants to support them in education, support them in this, support them in that, scholarship. All these things existed. Tinubu cancelled them. Won't give you unrealistic student loan. They don't turn Nigeria to palliative country. If you say you don't get job, give them rice. If you complain about insecurity, they'll give you rice. If you complain that the healthcare system is worse, they'll give you rice. If you complain about subsidy, they'll give you rice. Make my audio act up. Tell them it go hard. You tell me, is your audio back? Is it back now? It should. Don't worry, I don't see him. I see him chop. I see come up. I was like, yeah, they don't try again. They won't start again. You know, go work. If you complain about insecurity, give them rice. If you complain about one band A, one band B, one nye, give them rice. If your family member is kidnapped, give them rice. They can't turn on to declare rice, the rice Nigeria. But you weary, they don't pay you anything. You are defending them on social. You cannot give what you don't have. If he didn't day, he didn't day. Say me. You come and see, Wike is doing wonder in Abuja. Oloshi, in Abuja you dey live.
Actually, they live in Ijebu-Ode. Between Ijebu-Ode and Ikorodu, there is no road. But they will want me to go to Abuja and see where the weekend is walking. I want Shire. Here is the road between Ijebu-Ode and Ikorodu.
You know, I'm stocked up. Àárín agbede méjìlá sí báyìí. Imode to Ikongba. Ọ̀kadà gan ó ti fẹ́ paná síbí o. This is on my way to Ikongba and Okunwa. Exclusive from the Police Splash. Ẹ̀tìrín gọ̀dọ̀ àìmọye àwọn mọ́tò gan ló ti há síbí ṣá. Ọ̀nà Bálẹ́ndé nìyẹn. Sí ọ̀nà Ikongba. Gbogbo ẹ ti dógún. So in case anybody coming down from Obalende in Ijebu-Ode, you know, should take the express. You know, once you are going to Ikongba, just don't pass this road. Go and pass an alternative route. Obalende sí Ikongba ní Ijebu-Ode. Àwa gan èmi gan mọ bí tí máa gbà mọ́ báyìí. Ṣá wọ nǹkan. So tẹ́ bá ń bọ̀ láti Ìjẹ̀bú-Òde, ẹ rọra lọ gba tẹ́ bá ń lọ sọ́nà Ọ̀kùnwá, ẹ rọra lọ gba express. Ẹ má wulẹ̀ gba ọ̀nà Bálẹ́ndé. Anybody coming down from Ìjẹ̀bú-Òde, Imode-Mosan, just go and pass the express. Don't pass this road to Ikongba or this road to Obalende. Àìmọye mọ́tò ló ti rì síbí. Exclusive from Odogbolu Splash. Ká wo mọ́tò tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nkàn yẹn, ká wo bó ṣe máa gbà. Márúwá yẹn náà lọ ń tì bọ̀ ń sìn. Ojú mi ló ṣe há síbẹ̀. Ọ̀kadà tèmi gan mi ò mọ bí ti máa gbé gbà báyìí. Mo fagídí gbé wá sí bọ́dà pé àwọn ilé ti mọ. Wọ́n ti mọ bó ṣe máa ń gbà tí wọ́n ẹ wò. Wọ́n máa àwọn ọ̀nà housing tàdé máa ń gbà wọ́n lọ títí géètì bẹ̀. Márúwá ló ń tì bọ̀ yìí. Ká tún wo bí mọ́tò yẹn náà ṣe máa gbà. Ọ̀nà tẹ́ni yẹn gbà lèmi náà láti gbà báyìí. Ó dà pé màá bọ́ sínú omi yẹn màá bọ́ sínú omi yẹn màá fi ọwọ́ tì. Ẹ jẹ́ á wo báwọn mọ́tò yẹn náà ṣe máa okay. Ẹ pé wọ́n lọ ọ̀nà míì làwọn yẹn lọ gbà. So ẹ̀yin tèmi tẹ́ bá ń bọ̀ lẹ́ǹkan sí tẹ́ bá ń bọ̀ láti Ọbalende Imode-Mosan lọ gba express tẹ́ bá ń lọ sí Ọ̀kùnwá àbí tẹ́ lọ sọ Ìkàngbà lọ gba express àti mọ̀ nǹkan tó ju wá sí màá rí tá bá ti dé àgò báyìí. Ṣùgbọ́n èmi máa gba ọ̀nà yìí màá lè jẹ́ kí gbogbo yín kẹ́tù rí nǹkan tí ojú wa gbogbo wa ò lè sá fún ọ̀nà yẹn. Àwa láti ara sacrifice táwa ń ṣe nìyẹn, a láti mọ situation of things. Nǹkan tí mo ṣe gba ọ̀nà yẹn nìyẹn ká lè rí. Mọ́tò tó bá lágbára ló lè gbà bí. Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ o. Nigerian way. Mọ́tò tó bá lágbára mọ́tò wey get power fit pass all this place. I'll be every motor. May say I go put my leg, push my. Ẹ̀yin tèmi ẹ wò kọ́ tá à ń fèsì o.
So people are barely just existing. They are not even living. So you will see somebody from this type of communities, and they will still go and load their phone with 200 naira, 500 naira, and they will be defending APC, Egbekebe, defending the criminal government in that contraption. The government is trying. We like to complain a lot. Government cannot do everything. We cannot expect government to do everything. It's not ordinary. Tinubu and his gang, they hired a lot of fufu sellers. And right now, if you complain, say you dey hungry, then you will soon see people that will say, Irony, you are not hungry. Now, because say you don't like Tinubu, that's why you are saying you are hungry. Are you the only person that is hungry? Aki, come. Are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry, sir. See? Everybody is not hungry. Let us appreciate the little that we get. Let us thank God for giving us life. Right? You dey do them for free. You dey defend the criminal government. Backward criminal people. You dey defend them with empty stomach. Only convince me otherwise. Possible. Somebody said that if my audio goes off, give me rice. Oh yeah. When next the audio of this broadcast goes off, just give me rice. Your children cannot afford school fees, give them rice. There is flood in bad road, give them rice. They turn you to Nigeria. And then they will hire more and more to lie to you. Because, Baba, if the whole thing is working, if it's working, you do not need anybody to tell anybody. No. Everybody go feel them. Yeah, people may still complain. People will still complain. It's like when you hear about, have you been following American election? Americans are still complaining and complaining. Even Nigerians with the America, they complain. They will tell you, this country, yeah, but they're not going to leave the place. This UK, our own UK, we see how people here. This country is, it's not favoring the black people. They don't like foreigner. They don't like Papa, yet you know go back to Djibouti, where you know go be foreigner. Let me tell you something. These people, they hate us. Really? Una no go back to Djibouti. Una no go back to Benin. You go still stay here. No be so? You joining them, you are doing the job. Even abroad. Abroad is not easy. Abroad is not easy. Let us stop complaining about our government. Everything is not complaining. Everything is not. Let us start you are abroad. Oh. They are abroad that they don't like you. You know, pack your bag. Go back to your shit hole. But you are here comfortably, giving excuses for these criminals. Your own is better. Your own is better. Now, those ones with inside the shit hole, they will come on social. They don't pay them. Nobody they pay them. You see me, YouTube they pay me. So me on share do a legend, right? I have a platform that actually like as horrible as your country has become, right? I could conveniently kind of like get so paid far better than what your president officially should make. I make better money than your senators and all of them if they are not stealing money. You know that? Yeah, I make good money. I'm not a radio legend and all of that. So I could do this every day for the rest of my life. And I will live a very comfortable life. Very comfortable life. Who they pay you? You are living inside that horrible place. Yet you still they spend your energy to defend the people where they say they just make you live a life of just existence sake. You let us pray for our leader. You praying for those people? Really? Like you close your eyes and say, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus Christ of heaven, Allah, crazy, and all of that. Please pray for our leader to do the right. Bèrè lọ́wọ́ pastor ọmọ sọ fún ẹ tó bá jẹ́ pastor tó nice tó fẹ́ wà honest á jẹ́ kó yẹ èpè ló ń jà ẹ́ ó ń ṣèpè ìdílé o èpè àfọwọ́fà ló ń jà ẹ́. People who are looting you, stealing from you, they are paying people to lie to you. You that is the victim of all that bad governance, you still come on social media to defend them. Yahweh.
God damn it, man. Anyway, I hope they hire more. Because according to Tinubu, there is no more free beer parlor. I don't even know where that comes from.
I want to keep the people hungry and angry. But we say, be patient. There is no free beer parlor anymore. I want to
see free beer parlor. There's no free beer parlor anymore. God damn it, man. I am from Ijebu. And if I tell you how it breaks heart to see how backward these guys have now made Ijebu land. BC Onafunnuga. These people built infrastructures. They built schools, roads, health centers, hospitals. In the 80s. And some of them are the only thing we still have left, as dilapidated as some of them have become. These infrastructures are the only thing we have left. Those ones these criminals started building 25 years ago, go and look at them. Today, it's such a shame and sad to see. They don't show that they are actually the true Ijebu sons and daughters. No. No. They're just pure Omuali, Ijebu Omuali Didis. And for the generations that are now here, they will never experience what's life, at least, averagely what life should be like. Good life, a little bit. They will never experience it. And that breaks my heart, honestly. I have people who who have gone around the whole place and they was like, Mayegun, Ilu ti daru, o ti baje patapata. And our people have become so powerless, hopeless, that all they care about right now is that they just give us something to eat. Just anything. Infrastructure, it's just pretty much like a mirage. Sad. Very sad. Going forward, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things they said contributed to what we are now facing today is religion. And here is a pastor, a reverend father, or bishop, I don't know, who has something to say to take us back to how it all started, when people began to kind of look for miracle out of all of their problems, including all the man-made problems that we are facing today, hundreds of years ago, before they even got the independence.
It is my firm conviction, through a historical analysis of the few years of Christianity in Nigeria, about 100 years, or a little more in most parts, that Christianity began to deteriorate and collapse in Nigeria the moment some Christian preachers and ministers, some of them Catholic priests, started telling the people, especially those who were suffering, that believing in Christ will bring breakthrough, miracles, and end of your sufferings. Iburu hana onye otu Kristi, iwere Jesus ka onye nzọpụta gị. If you accept Jesus in your life as your personal savior, nsogbu gị niile na. And these people claimed to be ministers of the gospel of Christ. And they were telling the people, my God is not a poor God. My God is not a suffering God. My Jesus is no longer on the cross. Christians were made to believe that Christianity worked like Okite and Egombute. And especially if you brought money to the pastor or preacher or to the priest in the name of tithe or offering or seed sowing And if you said some prayers, even penance for sin, even fasting for discipline and help of the poor, they were all made instruments of breakthrough. Selfishness. And Christians, poor Christians, believed that. And money started pouring in. These men and women became powerful, very rich, and arrogant, under nobody's control. They amassed wealth, built elite schools and universities, established businesses and factories, and became large employers of labor. Some of them acquired private jets. Those who felt they couldn't use private jets would just call one member. The Lord wants a foreigner from you. A jeep. Sorry. That was when our church started decaying. Yes, the number was growing, but the number that was growing was the number of pagan churchgoers, not Christians. The Nejuka Mahena Goma Odo Aneja Goma Kamije Wotodo, it will take candle. Unshegbe, Eja Goma, Kamije wotin shegbe, it will incense. Iyaza Jagoma, Kamije wote, it will olive oil. And if it does not happen the way they told you it will happen, it is always your fault, not theirs. And honestly, many people received miracles. Why? Let me tell you clearly. Bishop Ona. If I decide to become a criminal and a thief and a 419er and a Yahoo, and gather all of you around me and tell you that whatever you ask the Lord in His name, He will grant you, and all of you gather around me in my church or in my house, if you pray with faith, God will answer your prayer in spite of the fact that I'm a criminal. But the fact that God answers your prayer in my presence does not make me a saint. I remain the thief. Don't be deceived. Chukwu anaghị ajụ na ya azaghị ekpere ụmụ ya maka na ha nọrọba onye oshije ekpe. Maka na ha nọrọba onye wayo je ekpe. Some, I don't ever say all. There are many honest, passionate disciples of Christ who are advancing the cause of the gospel and of the cross. Those who know no, it's not about this world. No bro maki ihe nke ụwa. Yes, ị ga-enweta ngọzi nke Chukwu n'ụwa, but not according to your command, not according to His will. Many of them. But a lot more now, a lot more people now have become pure cheats and businessmen and women who parade themselves as ministers of the gospel. Agejije satingbere. Ụfọdụ na-anọrọ n'ime ahịa ga-emepe ụlọ ụka ha ya pastọ ọ ga-abụ egbute eke shop onye ọmụnọ na Ọnịcha maọbụ Enugu maọbụ Lagos maọbụ Abuja mana o nwere pastọ na-arụ ọnụ ya chọọchị na Nsụka maọbụ n'Ubola ahụ maọbụ n'Enugu Ezike ndị ụka na-egbule. Why do we expect things to be better when nobody has accepted that being a Christian means to suffer? Go and ask true Christians.
Shay, help us, help us. There is God.
Help us. I prefer to sort of take on the message than the messenger, especially where religion comes to play. Now, the mugus, actually, really, okay, I'll leave it at that. So the point here is this: if you see Nigerians and religion, Nigerians who are so religious, so not all of them, I would say now, because make no could just generalize, okay? So Nigerians and their religion is pretty much like a pagans. Because in Nigeria, there is so much hardship that people believe that they can just bribe God and get something. It is not, it is nothing for nothing. Sure, you get. People believe that if they give it to God, God will double them. You get? And therefore, if you can't tell them, say, Omo, they don't scam you. Say, what do you mean? Just say that. In the Levitical verses, say, okay, we'll leave it at that. Beg you. And we will leave it at that. Because you know what happened? Today, the man that promised to give them Edu got his thank you visit today when the contingent of the supposed winner of the election visited Kolu to say thank you. We got the certificates. What many are now saying is that whatever the devil gives to you, I bet no go they rejoice so because there is always going to be a price to pay. Until then, Tinubu promised, Tinubu delivered, and here is a thank you visit, all combined.
You know me well. Yeah. You know I must share money well. We are still going to fight further. Don't worry, we are with you. You will not walk alone. One thing I can show you is this. Do you want to go back? Yeah. As the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will give the door back to you. And then we turn to a beautiful, if not more beautiful than Lagos, will be equal to Lagos. Be assured of that.
Certificate of
I'll carry the trophy, come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So to say thank you. And here is Olumide Akpata, who said he came to a gunfight holding stick. Now he has learned his lesson. That what he learned about the people, he will never forget. That on the day of election, his own member, the member of his own political party, they were selling their vote to PDP, APC. And it was like, people love their oppressors, so he underrated their love. Now he has learned it there in a very big way. He was on channels last night.
But how do you describe the whole process? You put your heart, your resources, your energy into all of this. How do you describe this, the outcome and the process?
Well, the outcome, if we view the outcome without talking about the process, I am humble enough, I have enough in my storehouse of humility to acknowledge defeat if indeed I lost, or if indeed I lost on a playing field that was level. So that is the outcome. The outcome, as you can see, is that the Labour Party came a very distant third. However, that outcome was, it came as a result of a process that was thoroughly flawed. And actually, Saturday, 21st of September, it was tragic. It was a tragic event that took place in Edo State. Because, when you consider firstly that the level of voter apathy was so high, it is estimated that only about 20% of eligible voters came out to vote on that day in Edo State, a highly enlightened, highly sophisticated community. And then when you also see that the bazaar that took place, the vote buying bazaar that took place, so from the numbers from INEC, it would appear that 560,000+ votes were cast on that day. I'm not so sure I agree with those numbers, but we're still looking towards. But let us even assume that we're somewhere in the 500,000 region in terms of votes. Two things occurred, Sean. Firstly, I would say, and my people are crunching the numbers still, but we are saying that somewhere in the region of 300,000 of those votes were bought. That leaves you with another 200,000. And then you saw what happened in the collation centers, where there was quite a bit of in fact, it was a chaotic scene at some of the local government collation centers. And at the state collation center, it was mayhem. So that just tells you that it wasn't an election that took place on the 21st. Like I said, it's okay to lose fair and square. But when you recognize that the Labour Party, first and foremost, right from the get-go, we were out of the game because apparently we came to a gunfight with a penknife. So we did not have the resources to buy votes, the votes that were on offer. And by the way, Sean, even if we did have the resources, we would never have taken part in such perfidy. Secondly, you found out that the people themselves, no, just in conclusion, secondly, you find out that the people themselves were very willing, were in fact on the lookout for buyers for their votes. And we're looking out for the highest bidder. So it was a willing buyer, willing seller scenario. So that for me is that's how I can describe the process to you. Vote buying, voter apathy, and then mayhem at the, and chaos at the collation center. That is how we came about this particular outcome that you have alluded to.
You were an outsider on the outside bar when you ran for president. Very sometimes unusual. You just a few of you who have ever done that in the history of the Nigerian Bar Association. You became the very first man in the Nigerian bar in that sense. That's very unusual, and that was a very historical feat that you achieved.
But getting into running for governorship of Edo State, that is another kettle of fish altogether. Are you politically shocked by what you met on the ground, your expectation, and what was the outcome?
Nigeria happens to you, so I'm old enough to understand my country. Nothing shocks me in Nigeria, save for, let me say that I was slightly taken aback by the reaction of the people. When you have, like I've described it, the captors who are in love with the captives who are in love with their captors. So that one left me a little bit dumbfounded, let me say, because I did not expect that reaction from the people. We campaigned vigorously around the state, and I know, Sheung, that the people, they really wanted to see change. But in the face of inducement of that magnitude, apparently they capitulated. But when you say outsiders, Sheung, let's put it this way. Each of us, the three, as they like to call us, leading candidates, came to the party or came to the table with our own fair share of negatives. The APC candidate would not speak to, or would not or could not speak to the populace. So the people were yearning to hear from him, but he was not available for them. He was a product of some serious infighting at the APC. The PDP candidate came to the table with his own baggage. First of which was the fact that the incumbent governor was more like an albatross for him. Of course, he also came as an outsider like me. So I fail to ascribe the outcome to any of these negatives that each of us bore into or carried into the process. No, if those were the only issues, I think the outcome or the results would have been different. Again, Sheung, Olu Akpata or Labour Party, I'm not saying we won the election. I am saying that there was no election, there was a transaction. So it's very difficult to now say, oh, who would have won or who would have lost.
Mr. Akpata,
300,000 votes by our estimation were bought by the two parties actively participating in that bazaar. But that is enough to swing any election.
Yeah, there are those who will be asking, you were very confident that the average person was behind Olumide Akpata, that they resonated with your message. The Papa, Mama, Pikin, where were they?
Sheung, some stayed at home, but a large number came out and sold their votes. That's the point I'm making to you, Sheung. Sheung, you see, what happened was a tragedy. Let us remove focus from Olu Akpata and Labour Party and interrogate our electoral process. If voters in Edo State, and so let me tell you, members of my party sold their votes. So it's not just, it is something that we must look into closely. So Papa, Mama, Pikin, who were indeed, we were not sure of the process, but we're surer, or we had more confidence in the people. But the people decided to go for, freshly minted cash that was on offer. So for me, that was a lesson. That was a big lesson to learn. That if you think that you know the people, you have to think again and you have to look inwards. The level of deprivation, poverty in the land has made it such that the people are unable to connect the dots between their current situation and those who are the cause of their situation. I'm not making any excuses for the people. I understand, I empathize. However, the facts remain the facts. This is the scenario. So with the Papa, Mama, Pikin that we thought would come out and say enough, as they told us when we campaigned to them that enough is enough. Our mumu don't do. We not go grieve for them again. Well, when they came and they found that there was so much money on the table, every other consideration was out of the window. That is exactly what happened. And I would like us not to focus on me, Olu Akpata, or the Labour Party. Don't focus on us. It's easy to call us sore losers, or it's easy to call us naive. You can say that, but please focus on what happened on Saturday. Because it is an ill wind that will blow no one any good.
That's right. The candidate felt and saw through the transactional election, and a woman at Olu Apata's polling unit boldly was telling him to his face, you will lose this polling unit. We go show you, say, you will lose this polling unit. Guess the woman. The woman is a PDP woman. He was loaded. They were buying votes in the presence of Olu Apata himself. Candidate, and Labour Party people from his own unit, they were collecting money. Voters. Unfortunately, PDP defeated him at his own polling unit. And that was the end of it. But it was not enough to change what APC already written, where you have 400 accredited voters. By the time the final vote comes out, APC is having 800, 900, more than accredited voters. And INEC entered everything into their server and declared it. Similarly, I don't know, maybe this, Oba Donkey is has been sleeping or something. Somebody saw him and said, is he pregnant? Why is his face so swollen? He was also on another online chat just yesterday, talking about the experience that has humbled a lot of them.
You can see that people came out, it's like hope was dashed. And I can't appreciate our people enough. Anybody who takes our people for granted, you do it at your own peril. Our people know, everybody knows what happened. They can appreciate what we have done as a government. And you are right. I thank them. And they are the ones that give me the confidence to talk the way I do. They are the ones that give me confidence to do the things I do. They threaten me, they'll do this, they'll arrest me, they'll do this. I just look at them and laugh. I say, you? How? I have people behind me. And you saw it in the last election. It's not about talking. It's about real action and evidence and facts.
Yes.
You know where Edo people, real Edo people, we don't talk much. They say, who has Edo Yere. We're deep people. So, but we have recovered our states.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, it will never go back to where we will never go back to where we're coming from.
I don't even understand what he's saying. Sheung had a chat with Aswe this evening, before we started this program. And he himself had this to say on top of this Edo matter.
He's going to stand his ground and will not allow democracy to be messed up. Are you disappointed? If that is the case, are you going to speak with him? Because I understand that you are not alien to him. You're someone that you perhaps could pick your phone and talk to. What's your next line of action right now?
No. I'm looking at INEC and the police. The president acts through agents, and if he's put agents out who have now failed him, it's not directly his issue now. He'll need to interrogate his agents and see the points of failure. My concern now, and I haven't seen any connection with the president yet, but my concern now is INEC and the police. They failed the process, they failed democracy in Nigeria, and they really need to go and do a serious rethink. I'll give you another example, Sheo. It takes for 360 people to vote, it takes 10 hours. If you look at the results that have been churned out in favor of the APC, they have all these polling units where they have 1,000 votes, 900 votes, nearly 2,000 votes. That will take 2 days of voting to achieve that level of voting. So clearly there's some voodoo that's happened here that has been subscribed to and allowed by INEC, permitted by the police forces, And so we have the problem that we have today, a stolen mandate. But we're quite clear that when we take all this through the judiciary, we'll reclaim our mandate.
All right, let me quickly ask you.
The state to stay calm and stay confident and just stay calm and know that by God's grace, at the end of the process, we'll have our mandate back.
Let me quickly ask you, the Form EC8A that you have the copies that you have of Form EC8A is already calling every Edo citizen to come together to work with them. But I want everyone to watch, then I'll get Mr. Ogudalo's response on this. Take a listen to Senator Monday Akpabiole, Governor-elect of Edo State.
My good people of Edo State, a while ago, I received my certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, who officially declared me the winner of the September 21st, 2024 governorship election in Edo State. With a great sense of humility and gratitude to God, I accept the result of the governorship election as declared by INEC. The journey to a new Edo has started with this mandate of the good people of Edo State. I want to especially thank our supporters and party faithful who work day and night to take our message far and wide. I want to particularly thank our leader, our president, our father, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his unwavering support for true democracy. I hereby extend the hand of fellowship to you so we can all build a new Edo of our dream. With my partner and Deputy Governor-elect, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, we are committed to addressing the yearning for a new Edo State, full of equal opportunities and development for all. And so, we are ready to hit the ground running to fulfill all our campaign promises. Thank you all. A new Edo is rising. Long live APC, long live Edo State, long live Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Just in about 30 seconds, if you may, Mr. Godalo, are you receiving these hands of fellowship from Senator Monday Akpabiole? He has stretched it. He says, for the interest of the Edo people.
I'd said this from the beginning, that free and fair election, level playing field, I have no problem with the outcome. This is not a free and fair election. We won this election. This mandate has been stolen by INEC and the police force. And we're clear in our minds that we will regain our stolen mandate. Because the mandate is stolen, there's no way you can accept this hands of fellowship or hands of friendship that's some kind of Pyrrhic kind of fellowship. So I will stay with the people of Edo State who gave me the mandate, fully gave me the mandate of their free will, and I will go into the courts and the tribunal to reclaim our mandates and then form the government of this state. I was listening to Monday Akpabiole now, and he was talking about his promise to the people and his campaign promise. They didn't campaign. There was no promise they made to the people of Edo State. He didn't even speak. This is the first time I've ever heard him speak, and he must have gone through serious coaching. So I honestly don't understand what kind of message he's trying to send to us. We will stay on the facts, we'll stay on the evidence, we'll stay on the data, and we'll take this through the tribunal.
All right. Mr. Aswe Godalo, thank you so much indeed for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheila. Take care.
Yeah. He's going to...
Aswe wants to go to court. Good luck with that. Abi, you can only wish him a good luck. Where you have... oh, no, come on. Where you have Kekere Ekun Agba Ole as your new CJN. We shall see. They say never say never. Now, spirit of Edo people. Well, I am going to say never say never. Bless them. Anyway, going forward, while I was sort of rounding up what tonight was going to be all about, I came across a video from Anambra, and another, sort of another image or picture rather. No, yeah, pictures, right? It's about Soludom, where it is now being touted that, APC Egbekegbe already said that Ondo is next, then Anambra. Then they will also correct the error, the mistake they made to allow the Labour Party governor in Abia. So step by step, turn by turn, it is going to get to all of them. And I saw where the Apuga are already up in arm with Soludom. They said they won't give Soludo their second time ticket because Soludom has failed them. The people of Nnewi, for example, where Tinubu is allegedly to have come from. Did you see this broadcast this afternoon? Where some the streets Ronukus, Yoruba Ponus, said that Tinubu is from Anambra, Nnewi to be precise. Well, they said that Soludom has refused to develop the Nnewi because Nnewi people didn't vote for him. And this is making it so hard for the Apuga people in that area to indeed bring the people on board. And they won't let Soludom make them lose Anambra because of his style. I do not understand the Igbo totally, but here at the town hall meeting, where town hall is different from Bulaba, so to say.
Since 2014, almost 10 years now, I have only found a strong opposition. Government of Governor Soludo, this was too, so now one of the beneficiaries anywhere. So, and one reason I do continue now, especially what to Uruaga. Manamala man, if I want to cook our Catarian, out Cariananco, because most of the times he just wear. So I want our position. He joined if he follow on he joined if he follow on he just blow if he follow the blow. If I go now they will never go down what I ask. Oh, what has what I all position course yeah. Ugari Media at our Eastern region at our Okoye Bao was say no contact I told you for you. Who nyamona 8 years of Bugari, no we headed to America. And the Watopo never was standard political practices that the whole world, also Nigeria can make. I can't go near since 20.
They start. The crack on the wall. Now, small, they start. So before you know it, the APC, Egbekegbe will take the chance, and the rest will be history. Here is another thing I saw. They are having a promotional examination in Anambra for our civil servants. Then they are charging them money. Like, why would you charge them money? Then you have people on online who are already defending this. Say, don't you know that they have to pay the examiners? The examiners are to be yen like that. So here is what looks like a circular. All directors of departments and heads of divisions, all zonal directors, PPSSC zonal offices, all principals, that, scheduled for 2023 and 2024 promotion interview for staff on SGLO 1 to 15, level 1 to 15. So you will have to go and pay 3,000 naira. Is it? Yeah, you pay 3,000 naira into this Kachuku Ventures. If you want to sit for the promotional exam. So therefore, if once you paid, then you can go and sit for these examinations. It's just like a job for the boys. This has brought people to begin to ask questions like, why do you pay for an examination? Like in the civil service. Well, it's a normal thing. That's how they do it. What the heck? Why? Okay. Bless I don't live for this Obodo Ibo for too long. Nigeria is a place where they normalize abnormalities. It just depends on which side of the coin you are. Job for the boys. I saw that and I was like, Meanwhile, like they said 2 days ago, that even though Tinubu promised the NLC scribe that he was going to pay them the new minimum wage from May. Now they've changed that to July 29th. Now they have developed a table that makes it look real, that is about to start paying them the minimum wage. But anyway, congratulations to you, the youth corpers. I saw that they have also increased your own alawi to 77,000 naira from 35,000. I've been at 34,000 naira. Congratulations. Yeah, I know. So yeah, a lot of them are so happy now that they will be paid 77,000 naira. So what does this new minimum wage really mean in Nigeria?
This is the table they developed.
Sorry about that. So they developed this table. When they talk about minimum wage, it is not really that they will pay people 70,000 naira per se. So if you look at how they kind of measure it, they say level 1, step 1. So that is the minimum. So if you are a minimum wage collector, you will be paid how much, annually, 930,000 naira. So it's like you'll be paid about 80-something thousand naira. So in a year, you will get paid 930,000 naira. So level 2, step 1, you get paid this. Level 1, step 2, step 3, step like that. So this is what they worked it out as. So annually, this is what you will get. If you are a civil servant with the federal government of Nigeria, if they ever pay you, this will be your annual salary. So let's take a look at level 9. Level 9, step 15. So you will get paid 2,194,000. That's level 9. That's something like a big level, Abi. So if you convert that with the 1,700 naira to a dollar, even though you're not spending dollar, but you know that most of what you have in Nigeria are imported, and therefore there is a reflection of that in what you eventually will spend money on. So 1.9 million naira for somebody, 2.1 million naira for somebody at level 9, step 15. Sounds like a good money, a lot of money, but it is not. With the devalued naira, that's practically just how much? 1,000 pounds a year. And this is before tax. They will still deduct tax from it from you, okay? So, Baba, person will be level 9, step 15, supposed to be Ogao. Sorry, in fact, let's use level 10, step 15. That's 2.3 million naira, or approximately 2.4 million, right? And that's just 1,000 pounds, or 1,050 pounds a year. Divide that by 12. It shall be permanent. It shall be permanent. This offering that Kolu is sharing, it shall be permanent. Amen. It shall not be permanent, because if I say they cost you now. Because as they are devaluing your naira, so is the worth of what you take every month. You will feel sorry for a lot of them. Look at the person who is highly paid. Person will be like level 17. Imagine person who is level 17, step 9, and is collecting 8,870,837. This is like a director or permanent secretary. If the person will be thief, now he be safe for 1 year, for a whole year, now 4,000 pounds, or 3,800 pounds. Baba, I don't know if we should just clap and say, thank God. I don't know. Imagine you become a director or a permanent secretary, and they are paying you 8.8 million naira a year. People will think, say, you have money. That money cannot buy you Kekere Marwa. I don't think so. Okay, it can buy you a Kekere Marwa. No, you can't. You can't buy Kekere Marwa and then still be able to pay your rent or anything. You must be a thief to survive in that contraption, even as a permanent secretary. You know why? It's because they've devalued your money. Yeah. Well, I mean, take a look at that. Permanent secretary, 1 year, or not be every month, or 1 year. That's not even up to what I make in a month. We're just talking to you on Mayegun's Diary Politico every night. No, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. That's how worthless your Naira is. What's your permanent secretary? Senior Oga, bata bata. What they make in Nigeria. It's not up to what I actually make on my platform in a month. I know. And that's not my fault. It is how mad they have destroyed your contraption. And that is something that those of you who are actually earning so less can see that you are only just going to be living, existing for existing sake. What kind of a country is that? Eh? Okay. Anyway, Shasha, that's how they kind of arrange the minimum wage in that contraption. So tell me why they won't steal, why they won't change a book, why they won't doctor this and that. And then they will be wearing this their born again coat, oversized coat, and oversized skirts. You go to see they be born again, but they be thief, evil servant. They call them, not civil servant, evil servant. How do you kind of live with that? Eh? And it's still going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The devaluation continues. The economy will continue to take its own downturn until you reach the stage of Zimbabwe. Yeah, Zimbabwe. I'll leave you with that. There are other developments. Put it this way. From all the old Igiaga, Hula Baloo, about the Bobrisky this, and then prison, what do you call it? The prison boss starts. The bribery for if you want to go prison or you want to stay out of prison and other stuff, right? Today or this evening, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Ojo, just made an announcement that those they suspected to have shared the 15 million naira paid by Bobrisky, they should go on suspension until the conclusion of investigation. So I saw that while we were on this program this evening. And look at it. Mr. Michael Anugwa, Deputy Controller of Corrections, DCC, in charge of Medium Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos, on suspension. Sikiru Adekunle, Deputy Controller of Corrections, DCC, in charge of Maximum Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos, on suspension. Others said board has also suspended ASC2, Ogule Samuel Obina, serving at the Medium Security Custodial Center, MSCC, Afikpo, Ebonyi State, for allegedly accompanying a convicted inmate out of the custodial center to a location outside the facility. In another related development, the board has equally suspended another senior officer of the service, Elio Fonsi Kevin Ikechukwu, Deputy Controller of Corrections, DCC, in charge of Medium Security Custodial Center, MSCC, Kuje Abuja, for allegedly receiving monies on behalf of an inmate. The suspension of these officers is to allow for further investigation on the various allegations while assuring that the outcome will be made public when concluded. Brilliant. So to those who are still threatening, what's his name? VDM, I hope they keep it up so that we can read about their own suspension too. And this has actually brought people to start questioning. Remember that man, that hotelier that killed a lodger in Ile-Ife, that was sentenced to life imprisonment in Abi death. This man. People are now beginning to ask questions like, is this man really in prison? That people should go and check who Adedoyin was sentenced to, I think he was sentenced to life imprisonment or death. I can't confirm that right away. Adedoyin, they said they should go and check who maybe the guy said no day prison. On top this Bobrisky's saga, Igiaga, Hula Baloo, Nigeria, the crime scene. They had a college in Delta. And that college is not a college to get educated on anything, really. Now, Yahoo college. Imagine, you enter a place and you want to go school, or you want to go learn how to do Yahoo. That's the rot that Nigeria has become. Here is a report from that.
Okay, we are here at Ekpan Police Station in Ubi local government area where we'll be parading about 123 suspected internet fraudsters who were engaged in the business of internet fraud. They were all placed in a particular house in one estate in Efun Warri Road, where they do what they call HK. They say HK means Hustler's Kingdom. However, what is their modus operandi? They engage their agents who go on social media to flaunt wealth that most times are not even theirs and convince unsuspecting boys of the age of 17, 18, 19, 20 that they want to teach them forex and also that they want to teach them crypto business. Now, what do? They lure them, some all the way from Kaduna, some all the way from Akwa Ibom, some all the way from Ibadan, to that particular estate and beat the hell out of them. That is their own welcoming to them. And feed them only when they feel like feeding them. In fact, one of them said once they enter the bedroom to bath, before they come out, they will seize their clothes, that they don't come. And in this place, there's no going back. In this place, there's no going back. Now, how did we get about this information? One of them, who came alongside two others all the way from Kaduna, told them that, I can't do this, let me go home. They told him, you don't come. That guy now used his laptop that they gave to him to do the business of internet fraud to reach out to the mom, who quickly reported to their relative who happens to be a member of the military, and they came in their numbers and raided that estate and arrested over 123 internet fraudsters. We also have another one, Bola from Ibadan. He said he studied in Arabic school and he needed money to go to Cairo in Egypt. Met one of his friends who he asked for 150,000, and that guy told him, people that are below you are even living larger than you. Come to Warri, let me teach you how to make money. Only for him to come, they took him to that estate, and as they are entering each of the gates, they are always shutting it, locking the gate, It became apprehensive and told them, what am I here to do? They told him it was internet fraud. He told them, I am an afar, I can't do this. They told him, you have come, you are not going back. And that was how they welcomed him with beating. They beat him up to the extent that he even excreted on his body. He urinated on his body. And he had no choice than to stay back. This Bello said for the past 9 months, since he left Ibadan, he has not spoken to his mom, he has not spoken to his dad, they have not allowed him access to even sunlight. This is what is happening, and this is the reason why we must continue to monitor our kids, continue to monitor our what? Their peer group. When we can't find them for some time, we should look for them. When they come back home with unexplained and ill-gotten wealth, we should ask questions. We should not continue to tolerate this. This does not speak well for us as a nation. It does not speak well for us as a people and as a society. I just want us to briefly interview some of them so that they will tell us their story. Your name?
My name is Gideon. Gideon,
you are from where?
I'm from Akwa Ibom.
How old are you?
I'm 17 years old.
Repeat it.
I'm 17 years old.
Okay, so what brought you to that estate?
My friend, let me start out.
No, I don't need too many stories. What brought you to the estate? Just tell me. Go straight to the
hustle.
Hustle, what kind of hustling?
Internet floating.
Internet floating?
Yes.
Okay, now they tell you say you be. Okay, when did you get there?
Over 1 month.
Okay, you don't do that for like 1 month now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so tell me your experience inside the place.
So my experience inside that place is sometimes we only eat morning and evening.
Okay.
And another thing is like we sleep 9 to 5 o'clock in the day. If we sleep at 9 and wake up, from that 9 we start work till 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, how the work be? How do they do the work?
Our work is to show us how to act this Facebook, after acting this Facebook. But that thing from me, I don't really like it. I always tell my guys sometimes this thing is very hard for me to do it.
Okay, it's okay. Now, when was the last time you heard from your parents?
It doesn't live 1 month.
Since you come the estate, they don't allow you call your mama.
They only seize our phone and they say you are only calling on Sunday only.
Okay, they seize on our phone. They say you can only call on Sunday.
Àsìkò òǹgbẹ lọ́tún lósì ẹ̀mí ò sì káàrẹ̀ Jagaban Kerim.
Jagaban Kerim. See, when I was doing that conversion of their salary earlier, it wasn't just to kind of compare where I live with where they live. The reason why we have to make that comparison is this, okay? Presently in Nigeria, more than 90% of what they use in Nigeria is absolutely imported. And the impact of the exchange rates on everything Nigeria cannot or should I say overemphasized. So I saw that comment of Mr. Papaife or whatever you call yourself. And you know what? The way you actually shot yourself on the foot is this. You actually said you buy a gallon of liter. I think that's how much you buy it in America, because the way you listed it shows that probably you live in America. $4 per gallon. And I can ask you this one straight up, right? The Nigeria minimum wage is every month. And it's put at maybe 85,000 naira. Okay? And that 85,000 naira is probably around $50. And that is for 30 days. In America, where you pay $4 to a gallon, $4 for a gallon, as you call it, I don't even know what you mean by gallon. We buy it a liter in the UK. A liter of petroleum in the UK is £1, 35 pence. Now, if you convert that to Nigeria money, ordinarily, that's going to be like maybe about 3,500 naira per liter. Yeah? So number one, UK is not a massive oil-producing country. Nigeria is. And the minimum wage in the country that I live in is £10. The minimum. And you are expected, if you have a job in the UK, you are expected to work at least 38 hours in a week. Now, if you multiply £10 times 38 hours, that will automatically give you about 380 pounds. Okay? In Nigeria, if you break down the 50, it's not even up to 50 pounds, the 86,000 naira, right? If you break it down, it should be 100 pounds in Nigeria would be how much? 220,000 naira. That's 100 pounds. So half of that should be 110,000 naira. So which means the 86,000 naira minimum wage they pay to the lowest person in Nigeria is not even up to 40 pounds. And that's for 30 days. In the UK that I live, for 30 days, you don't even have to work for 30 days. In Nigeria, you work for 22 days, I'll be minus weekend. So in the UK, if you put the whole thing together, you work for maybe about 14, 15 days. Yeah, that's how many days you work here. And for that 15 days, you get paid nothing less than 1,400 pounds. Now, if you multiply that 1,400 pounds, you are able to pay your rent. If you have a car, right? Maybe car insurance, and then fueling your car, and the rest of that, in a single month could take maybe, maybe 200 pounds, right? You pay your rent, for example, maybe you pay your rent around, this is minimum, right? Maybe you pay the rent of maybe 500 pounds, plus other bills in it and all that, right? Maybe 500. And then, you can possibly add other things like maybe shopping, this and that. At the end of the day, from your 1,400 pounds, right? You are likely still going to have maybe 300 pounds savings, conveniently, right? So with that 300 pounds savings, which you don't have in Nigeria. Now, if you have to go and buy a liter of petroleum for £1.35, you don't even actually need a car, right? In Nigeria, you need to fuel your generator and all of that if you have any, okay? So the standard of living here that will make me pay £1.35 for a liter of petroleum, it cannot be compared, Abi, to the life of those who are going to pay 1,200 naira per liter in Nigeria. And guess what? 1,200 naira per liter of petroleum in Nigeria, if you actually put that or convert that to what I have here, it's going to be how much? I think it's going to be 50 pence, right? Like half of. So the bottom line then is this. Where I live, it commensurates with how much the standard of living I have here, okay? Which simply means that I am not going to actually be paying through my noses, right, to live here. And I do not have to actually walk like a deadbeat or a dead man walking, right, before I can live. In Nigeria, a minimum wage earner is a slaving person. You know that. Now, from that, you would have to go and spend something like, how much do you spend on your bag of rice if you have to buy one? An average minimum wage earner in Nigeria cannot, for any reason, right, possibly like buy himself a bag of rice. A minimum wage in Nigeria can buy you a bag of rice. So when you now see those who are actually at the top, who are supposed to be at the top, earning maybe that one I showed earlier, 8-point-something million naira, they are the same characters who they drive 50 million cars. They have mansions built. They send their children abroad to school here. So if you compare what they are earning to what their standard of living, the point I'm making out of that is actually the corruption that exists there. Not indeed comparing what it is for the lowest of the earners, even though I'm actually using the lowest earner here. Yeah? So if you now say a gallon of petrol is $4, does that commiserate? Does that not commiserate with what that person that's going to buy a liter for $4 earn in America? How much is the minimum wage in America per hour? $15, Abi? Or even more. So, how much is the minimum wage in Nigeria for a month? $42. So, when you have people who are living in an economy that is so devalued, and yet their everyday living is also rated based on the rate of dollar and all that. So if I point out the devaluation that breeds corruption, and other probably degenerational poverty, how dare you come around and say I should stop comparing? When the whole comparison is actually to point out the genesis, the origin of what corrupt country Nigeria is. So you want me to what? To stop exposing that? Because I don't get it. If I'm paying £1 for a bread in the UK, right? And I'm earning £10 an hour. So from my £10 an hour, I can actually restock my fridge. You know that? Buy myself a pack of milk. A keg of milk. Maybe butter, margarine. What else I can do? Eggs. And just for 1 hour job, a day job, I can actually fill in what will feed me for the next 2 weeks. Now, if you break down what a minimum wage earner earn in Nigeria and the economy they've created for them, can you compare it to what it costs to live in that place and what you earn? So if you have criminals in charge who don't give a damn about all these things, but want to make you feel like they are doing you a favor by giving you a minimum wage, what is wrong in exposing that? Or making the people living in that place know that that's not life. Rather than say, oh, don't compare it. Why can't we compare it? Why can't they have what they call the living wage instead of minimum wage? The money they earn that has been devalued even before they actually touch the money. I say that all the time on this platform. So the bottom line is just to say, those who are even like supposed to be earning big, they are not. They have a economy, they have a country that has been so debased, devalued, right? That all they have is that number. that sounded like so big. And it's also like a base for the corruption that exists in that place, which is the primary reason why I actually made that comparison. Now, African Wahala, if you see that Papa Efe now, get rid of him. Yeah. I have had people many times, right, who have been deceiving people in Nigeria to be contented, to be okay. Like, just take it. In Nigeria, you can survive on 100,000 naira. And these are normal people that continue, they live abroad, who can never survive on $1,000 where they live. They complain a lot themselves. However, they want those people living in that contraption to be thanking God that, listen, if it's in America now, do you know how much is a liter of petrol? Do you know how much is a bread? Do you know how much is this or that? There are those who continue to remind those in Nigeria that they should be grateful. I don't want them to be grateful. I want them to be mad. I want them to be angry. And if we are not on the same page, you don't have to be here. Thank you. Then going forward, like somebody like this, who, I don't know if you remember this Onokpasa madman that believes that people should be grateful, okay, for whatever they are getting from Tinubu, because whatever they are facing right now is not because of Tinubu. Then he went back later, or he came back later to come and say, well, it's that we are suffering, you need to do something. African Wahala, if you can't find him, I'll find him myself. Please.
Yes, this is not the beginning of hunger in Nigeria, but you'd agree, Mr. Onokpasa, that since the removal of fuel subsidy, life has been harder for Nigerians. You can look at the purchasing power, inflation rate.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Bola Tinubu did not remove fuel subsidy. That is a misconception. The law does not even allow you to pay fuel subsidy. That is the PIA Act. So we were paying, since that act was passed, we were paying subsidy unlawfully. Then the previous government, which was comfortable with breaking the law with respect and paying the subsidy, only made provision up to, well, I think June this year. There is this, I think, I believe we would have been in even far greater problem today if that subsidy had continued. It's not Bola Tinubu that removed subsidy, for God's sake. That is fake news with respect. The law says you can't pay subsidy. A president does not have a right to break the law. It is even the duty, the mandate, the obligation of a president to obey the law. You know? And then we have all this, you see this news cycle, we have been doing a lot of things with respect that are just totally uncalled for, unpalatable.
Okay, Mr. Onokpasa, I would like to come in here.
You know?
Mr. Onokpasa,
they are unnecessary. Totally unnecessary.
Mr. Onokpasa, I would like to come in here.
Rufai.
Mr. Onokpasa, my name is
how are you?
My name is Rufai Oseni. And first, patriotism means...
How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you two?
You say?
How are you two? How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
Okay.
Patriotism means supporting your country at all times, but also supporting the government when they deserve it. Mr. Onokpasa, I put it to you that you came here to misrepresent the facts today as regards subsidy removal. President Tinubu announced subsidy gone on Inauguration Day. And that was effectively pulling out subsidy. So you say he didn't remove subsidy, quoting the PIA law that had been there for a while, is misrepresentation of the facts. That's number one. Number two, since President Tinubu got in... Let me finish, Mr. Onokpasa. Let me finish, please. Secondly, since he got in...
Don't raise your voice at me, young man. Don't raise your voice at me.
Let me finish, Mr. Onokpasa. Let me finish.
I'm your guest.
So, since President Tinubu got in...
respect me.
Since President Tinubu got in,
I will walk out of your studio if you raise your voice at me.
Mr.
Talk to me
Onokpasa,
respectfully.
you may will take your decision if you want to. I'm asking a question. You might decide to walk out if you want to. Mr. Onokpasa, since President Tinubu came in, the economy has tanked. is at an all-time low as we speak.
It has not. It has not.
Let me finish my question. Mr. Onokpasa, let me finish my question.
You are a liar.
Mr. Onokpasa, moderate yourself, all right? Moderate yourself.
Do you know what you are doing?
Good.
Listen to me. Young
Secondly,
do you know what you are doing?
Since President Tinubu came in, the economy has tanked.
You are pretending to be a journalist.
The indicators are there.
What is the matter with you?
Since he came in, the indicators are there. Number one, the cost of the dollar to the naira.
What is the matter with you?
The cost of the dollar to the naira has tanked tremendously as a result of the fluctuation of the currency. All right, that's one.
Is that Tinubu's fault? Don't you know why naira tanked?
I'm still asking my question. Secondly,
it's been an of your friends.
Because it's been an all-time malaise in the economy as we speak. Cost of living gone up tremendously. All right, and things are really, really south for the economy. So, in all of this, it's been a slopey downward spiral. What would you have to say about all of this, Mr. Onokpasa?
Thank you very much for that question, Rufai Oseni. Please, Dr. Ruben Abati and my adorable in-law, Mrs. Myro Ese, does anybody have a more reasonable question for me to answer? Because I am not dignifying that insulting question from Rufai with a response. I am not.
Mr. Onokpasa, I will see that you're bailing on my question, and it's all right. It's all right for you to bail out if you don't want to answer it. But
I'm
it's
not
all right.
evading your question. Listen,
please
Rufai,
answer it if you can.
Rufai, listen to me. This is not animal psychology. It is law. Okay? If you want to be a journalist, you can be a journalist. And you should learn the ropes for those ahead of you.
Mr. Onokpasa, answer my question.
You can never be my mate. You can never.
Mr. Onokpasa, answer the question. Dignify yourself. Mr. Jegu says that dignify yourself and answer the question.
My God.
Dignify yourself
Please,
and answer the question.
Can we have peace?
Dignify yourself and answer the question.
Can we have peace in the studio?
My God.
Can we have peace?
What's wrong with this badly brought up little boy?
Mr. Onokpasa,
disrespect me.
Mr. Onokpasa, please calm down.
Mr. Onokpasa, I didn't disrespect you for the last. I just asked a question.
Please, Mr. Onokpasa.
Dr. Bati, let him answer the question.
Okay, do we end this program now? Both of you will not allow me to talk. Should we end the program?
I saw that they do. You will see some of them, they live abroad. They will tell you in Nigeria that Nigerians abroad, they are suffering. Don't mind them. They are all working. They will come on social media. In Nigeria, you can still survive on 30,000 naira a month. In Nigeria, if you know what you are doing, you can survive on 50,000 naira a month. But they will never return to that Nigeria if truly they are suffering abroad. We have them all over the place. And I think I did a program on them a while back where I said, there are so many people that want Nigeria to remain as it is. In fact, it should be worse than as it is. The exchange rate, it should continue to go up. Because somehow, it makes them feel rich. You know, say Nigerians love I better pass my neighbor life. Since I don't go abroad. I told you the story where when I used to send there 100 pounds and 1,000 pounds. As we all know that it wasn't easy to gather 1,000 pounds, okay? Or even like a spare 100 pounds. But there is no amount of hardship you think Nigerians abroad are facing. They could still get money to give. You know they notice? People who live abroad, no matter how hard they claim it is for them abroad. Number one, they do not have any plan to live in Nigeria. Then number two, no matter how hard it is abroad, they could still get small money to give. We could still always get small money to give. Because it makes us feel like we are better. Here you get, you know, you will say Nigerians are building houses. In Nigeria, this Nigeria, they say is hard. People are building houses. Yeah. I was like, so what is big in building houses? You are building houses so that you won't be homeless and all that. I'm a landlord. You be landlord, or you are like a wretched person, right? I mean, gone are the days when it used to be like, oh, you've got a house and it's like, it's worth something. What do you think your houses in Nigeria are actually worth now? For real. So you see those ones where they are abroad. As the exchange rate continue to dwindle, as your country continue to tank, as bad, horrible leadership continue to emerge in that contraption, it is not like serving them, because some of them don't get sense that as worse as Nigeria is becoming, so is our own finances too. To spend £1,000 10 years ago, you only get 250,000 naira in Nigeria. Today, if I send you £1,000, it is 2.2 million naira. 2.2 million. It makes me a millionaire. So if I send money to Nigeria and I'm like, okay, let me send 1.5 million naira. So they will tell me, how much is 1.5 million naira? So 750,000, 750 pounds. Oh, 750. Okay, yeah, send it. But gone are the days when I used to send just about 200, 300 pounds, right? And it will pay all the bills. 300 pounds was like a 75,000 naira. 75,000 naira. It was huge. Today, 300 pounds is more than, it's like a 660,000 naira. Almost 700,000 naira. So somebody who is living abroad, is feeling cool, is feeling good that is sending money since your naira is already like in trash. If you have a good working government, if you have responsible government that brings value to your naira, some of them, that sending $1,000 and you will get 1.6 million naira. Imagine now I have to send $1,000 and all you have to get is 60,000 naira. I mean, it's still going to have value, but it won't massage the ego of this person that lives abroad. So they want Nigeria to remain down, 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 economically and otherwise. So when you see them living abroad and tell you that, you don't know that it's not easy to live. It's not easy to live abroad. You should be grateful that you are living in Nigeria. That you're Nigeria, you can manage 100,000. You can manage 1,000 because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good. They want to come to Nigeria and you can help them carry their bag. They want to come to Nigeria and you can be their driver, chauffeur. You can help them wash their cars. You can help them wash their clothes, cloth. They can send you errand. Okay, since the country don't scatter anyway, everybody don't almost poor. Here you get. So that person that you and him they also for Lagos, he they abroad now. He can send you £100, and when you cash it, over 200,000. You're like, 200,000. You start thanking him or her. Oh, my friend, God bless you. You see, man, I don't know how to thank you. So, man, if you know, this whole thing just kind of make me feel like who derive joy in looking at people whose purchasing power has been so destroyed, so ruined, that they will never make headway. People are working hard. People are working hard. If you want to see people where they work hard, they work like, say, they be Jacko. Go to Nigeria. And then check how much they are making. Go and check how much they are making. They are living wretchedly because of the criminals that have devalued your currency, devalued your lives. So somebody who is living abroad, it will tell you should be grateful. But it will never live there. It will never bring his family down there. It will tell you it's not easy to live abroad. If you know how much we are paying on rent, if you know how much we are buying net, do you know how much we buy bread? You should be grateful. Just be thanking, just be praying to God to help you. You see, Nigeria is still going to, they know still Nigeria no go better. Because if Nigeria should be better, most of them will become useless to you. I swear. You will stop calling us for anything. If there is actual value to your work in Nigeria, where that money you earn has real value, you won't call anybody abroad. Why do you need anybody abroad? Why? But as long as you have criminals that are destroying that country, majority of you who used to kind of take care of yourselves 5 years ago, 10 years ago, today you have become broke. You have lost over 80% of the value of your efforts. So somebody can stay abroad and say, we are buying a liter of petrol for $4 per gallon. Do you know how much it takes to kinika for abroad? There are many of them. There are many of us here watching. They are on this program too. They are now the most valuable people in some of you's life who are watching me from Nigeria. I have friends I actually see every month these days now. I do not spend less than £1,000. Can you even imagine that? 10 years ago, I no fear afford £1,000. Now I do not spend less than £1,000 almost every month now. Which means if Nigeria continue that way and I continue this way, I'm going to be wrecked. I'm going to be financially destroyed. So it shouldn't be a pride for me, right? To feel like a big man because Nigeria is going broke. Nigeria is being destroyed every now and then. I have friends and family that every time I think about them, I feel so sorry for them. These are not people who are not lazy. These are not people who are lazy. They are hardworking guys. But go and check what they make. Go and check the value of what they get, despite all the work, all the efforts. Almost nothing. That they still have to depend on people like me, people like some of us, to make ends meet. We still have to kind of subsidize them. The more we try to subsidize them, the more us as well, right? We are becoming broke. It is called black tax. So if you come onto my platform and you cannot relate to all of this, I was talking to someone, I think a while back, and you know what they told me? Baba, we'll leave that country. That country can never be better. I said, let us break it up. No, may they no break Baba, may they no break Nigeria. Leave it like that, Jare. Leave it like that, Baba. I said, if tomorrow Nigeria found its way, and the value of your naira and the exchange rate, this one is not the artificial announcement. I'm talking about the value. Let's say $1 becomes 200 naira to $1. Baba, make me no come down. Make the thing they go up, they go like that. I was like, but people are going to become poorer and poorer. Even you, when they give them money, you will soon run away from them. It's like, Baba, don't they run away from them? None of them are begging me for money now. I said, then why are you not interested in their economy working? If their economy begins to work, less people will ask you for money. Did you not think of that? Well, Baba, that country can never be better, Jare. That country can never be better. Live on like that. I want their naira and dollar to reach 5,000 to a naira, to $1. I said, do you even understand what that means? Like if you wake up tomorrow and $1 is 3,000 naira to $1 or 5,000 naira to $1, that will make you feel good, right? $1,000 will just be 5 million. I said, it is not the number of the zeros. It is the value of the zeros. A bag of rice, 50 kg rice, was 7,500 naira. 9 years ago. Today, it is 120,000 naira in some places. So let's do the math. When $100 was 100 pounds. Okay, let's use $100. When $100 was 19,000 naira, right? People could still buy, for example, people could buy a bag of rice, a bag of beans, and a bag of gari, a keg of ororo, 25 liters. From all of that, from that 19,000 naira. Today, $100 is 166,000 naira. So if you buy a bag of rice, 120,000. A bag of beans is about 140,000. That means your $100 self, no, if you buy a bag of rice, a bag of beans, a bag of gari. Did you even think of what this means as well? That It's not about the number of zero. It is the value of that zeros. You could use $100 back then, 19,000 naira, to buy all of this. 7,500 bag of rice, 5,500 bag of beans, 6,000 naira bag of gari. You could buy all of this together in $100. Today, you can't buy 19,000. You could buy 2 bags of 50 kg rice 9 years ago. Today, with your $100, 166,000 naira, you will be able to barely buy a bag of gari. A bag of rice. Maybe a bag of gari. That's it. I was like, I didn't see it that way. I said, oh, you didn't. Well, you should begin to see it. If you think their country destroying and the value going up makes you a big man, and because you know get sense. So if Mayegun comes here every now and then to tell you how this devaluation actually works and how much of it affects you, you will see some people back in the days, right? If you send $100 to your family members, they could pay for their medication. Still buy food stuff for house. They could still get pocket money. Today, you will send them more than $200. It's pretty much like not even buying anything. Before the end of the month, some of you are now like running into different debts because you want to remain big men. Big men that take care of their family. Big women that, say, think the more they destroy Nigeria, the more they destroy you. That is abroad as well. But una know they think. You are so selfish sometimes that all you think about is that ego of yours. The one that makes you feel like you are better past your neighbor. A lot of us are working 2-3 jobs these days. And still know they pay the debt. No. Because you can send $1,000. And $1,000 gives you 1.6 million. 1.7 million naira. You are a millionaire. But the truth is this. Our people are dropping and falling into more and more poverty. Generation to generation. There is no sight. There is no end in sight. You want to tell them that they are okay. Because you are buying you are buying a gallon of petrol for $4. You are buying a bread for $1. So, in the country that you are living, where inflation also exists, are they not increasing your own earnings? Are there no other leverages and subsidies that you enjoy? Do your people enjoy them back in that contraption? The more they bring upon themselves terrible, terrible leaders, and the economy continue to go down, you are not spared. Now just know they think. People know they think. People just want to be like so selfish. And to those of you in Nigeria who actually listen to these mofos, that tells you that no matter what, Nigeria is still easy to live. Nigeria is still the best place to live. What they are asking you to endure, many of them, they can't endure it for a week. They will either run back, or they will die. Yeah, I tell you that for free. And that is why you will see them tell you, Nigeria is still okay. You should be grateful. But when you ask them to come back and live in that same place that is okay, they will say, no, why are you wishing me evil? Why are you wishing me bad? Why would you ask me to come back to Nigeria? So this is why, when I am actually addressing things on Mayegun's Diary Political, I want you to please not agree with me. I'm not asking you to agree with me. But at the same time, I'm not asking you to try to begin to plant doubt. Because I've seen it many times. From your comfort zones abroad, you can tell Nigerians that it is not as bad as people like Mayegun is painting it, because you are so selfish, so self-centered, that your ego is so high, and it has blinded you so much, that you think that your comfort zone is the best that could happen to anybody. Now, they've added not just this hardship and all that. They've also added insecurity. They've added, lack of rule of law, lawlessness. The things that a lot of us can no longer live and exist in. I wouldn't want police to be brandishing gun in front of me because he wants to take bribe. I wouldn't want some lunatics break into my house in the middle of the night and they said they suspected that I'm a Yahoo boy because they are EFCC and all of that. I would not live in such society. And these are the stuff. These are the issue. So if you want to disagree with me on anything, just make sure that you are not speaking from the position of privilege, from the comfort zone of yours. I can be very comfortable. In fact, I am actually very comfortable. You know what makes me uncomfortable? Every time I see or think about the danger of being selfish and thinking just about myself. When I see the danger what that poses, I become uncomfortable because there are some things that money can buy. Do you know that? It's not like Paulo that says that whatever money cannot buy, more money will buy. No. There are some things that money will never buy. A society that is unjustly managed and unfairly managed as well. It is not to anybody's advantage. So don't agree with me on everything, but please don't plant doubt on my platform. Do not use my platform as a place to kind of spread that your stupidity and selfishness, because I am comfortable. To be honest, right? By all standards, I am very, very comfortable. But every time I remember that I won't live in this place forever. My dream was not to come and live in this place forever, but now it's becoming like an alternative. I want to go back to Odogbolu. I want people living in Odogbolu to actually live normally. When I was living in Odogbolu, people were comfortable, contented. They were not asking for too much. They could feed themselves. They could send their children to school. They could pay their bills. They were not really concerned about all this luxury of anything. No. But these days, that has become a luxury to the point that people are barely existing. And I know why. Why? It is because of either their own ignorance plus enablement of enabling these criminals in perpetuating this economic ruin. Yeah, they may look like they can't help it, but maybe somebody like myself can continue to remind them that they can live better. They can have all those again, only if they stop. Only if they stop enabling these rogues, enabling these criminals. Because in the long run, we all suffer, or we will all suffer it. Whether you are rich or poor, it won't matter anymore. A society, an unjust society created by lunatics and criminals who are so selfish, it's not to anybody's interest, man. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your evening with me again. I did promise that we should have a phone call this night, but somebody just triggered me there, coming here to tell me that, I should not compare blah, 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 blah with what they have in Nigeria. Why not? Every time the exchange rates galloped, your cost of living gallops, they will tell you, the $1 costs how much? $1 they spend for Nigeria. And then you see some gullible idiots. They will come on and say, are we spending dollars? Are we spending dollars? And you living abroad will say Nigeria is spending dollars. Let's talk about Naira. Me knowing that Nigeria economy is dollar dependent. Even your Nigerian custom, they are charging people importing stuff to Nigeria in dollars. Country we've seen a Naira that they spend. The custom is charging importers dollars because they know they take dollars. They know they take Naira. Shouldn't that tell you something? At the end of the day, they will now use the dollar exchange and apply that on everything you buy. Even tomato seller. They will say, are we importing tomato? Why is the tomato expensive? I'm all there. I am not an economist, but there's something I know. You see that same mama tomato, the woman where they sell vegetable, we've seen her from her backyard, she caught the vegetable. She will what? She will need to buy food, other food to eat. She will have her own children to feed. She will also pay out rent. She will also enter transport, Sabi. Yet, some idiot will say, $1 affect this one too. Now we they do ourselves. Now the black man, they do black man. We they spend dollar ni. And you that is living abroad that should actually know better. You are joining them, planting the doubt, making them more confused. when you should actually make them or help them. And we know where this is coming from. It is coming from the place of privilege. You don't live, you don't do abroad. Now suddenly you have an idea. You have an idea of why people are not living well in Nigeria. Meanwhile, you are just kind of massaging your own ego and all that. Like this Kaduna little finger, the man that stole over 400 billion naira, as the governor of Kaduna traced to some of the bogus seminars, bogus workshops that he organized in Kaduna. He called one Card Fest, Kaduna Fest Festival or something like that, where people were supposedly coming to, to display what they have created. Small businesses, this and that, including the son of Iroboye of RCCG, Pastor Adeboye. They collected 8 billion naira, 8.9 billion naira for the road construction that he never constructed. It was in Kano yesterday, still talking about his achievement in Kaduna, a criminal that should be behind bar, waiting to be hung by the hangman. A criminal that stole over 400 billion naira is a guest of honor in Kano Fest, since they don't chase him from Kaduna. Yeah, the criminals representing this contraption, people who suppose they gallo. If it was in China, they would don't kill him by now. But Nigeria is a special guest of honor.
The entrepreneurship program, which was the brainchild of Akpabiole, who is here, to get university graduates and train them in entrepreneurship over a period, I think, of 3 or 6 months. By the Kaduna Business School, they graduate with a diploma in entrepreneurship. But to graduate, they have to prepare a business plan of an idea that they want to market. They must come up with a business idea that they want to pursue upon graduation. And when they produce the business plan, the Kaduna State Government, in partnership with Bank of Industry, provides them the capital that they need to start their business. The collateral, we're getting the loan from BOI, which is a single-digit interest rate loan, is to deposit their diplomas. So you don't put any capital. Initially, we asked for 10% down, but we realized fresh graduates don't have much money, so they cannot be so modified the program to have just that. And we trained thousands of young people, and many of them started their businesses. Some of the businesses are still doing very well. As you know, the failure rate of new businesses is about 90%. But it is the 10% that manage to survive that become the Dangotes of the next generation. So we were very happy with that program. Then we moved to ICT and established the Kaduna ICT Hub and tried to interest our young people to look at information and communication technology as a sector that can provide rapid social and economic mobility. And we are pleased that some of the people that we supported, like Amal of Outsource Global, have grown to be major forces in their business. There is I saw him this afternoon, Yusuf, whose areas of expertise is blockchain technology, who is also doing very well. We train again thousands of people that have gone to work for major tech companies outside Nigeria and earning very good money in US dollars. So when we left office, before we left office, we then went to the third level, which is to establish the Kaduna Technology Village, which again was to provide a place for incubation and providing free services to encourage tech talent to experiment, develop their businesses and thrive. The Kaduna State Government was willing at that point to provide funding in collaboration with BOI. Now when we left office, we thought that this is such a good idea is so important for the future of northern Nigeria and Nigeria in general, that we need to continue what we are doing in the private sector. So my friend Jimmy Lawal and a few of us put together our own money and started AfriVenture Capital. The whole idea of AfriVenture Capital is to be the first venture capital and private equity company operating out of northern Nigeria, with a particular focus on developing and funding innovations and technological startups from northern Nigeria and Nigeria in general. But our focus is northern Nigeria because most of the funding that goes to the tech sector so far goes to Lagos. When Mike Zuckerberg came to Nigeria, he went to Lagos. He didn't think of coming to Kano or Kaduna. And we know it is important to put northern Nigeria on the map. We account for 60% of Nigeria's population, about 130 million, and we have a lot of talent that is wasting away because our young people don't know where to go to get the support, to get the funding, to get the mentoring and the guidance that they need to achieve their full potential. So AfriVenture Capital was set up to fill that gap. We want to look for young people with talent in innovation in the tech sector, provide them the money that they need to develop their ideas, provide them the guidance, the mentoring that they need, guide them in having superior corporate governance records, as well as open doors for them. I was joking earlier that one company made me chairman of their board of directors.
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
It's still from them. But they're always there to say, oh, we try to kind of get nonsense. I don't blame them all the time, because there are enablers too. The ones who kind of listen to them and get their own their own share from the pie. It is what it is. It takes 2, 3, or even 4 to tango in that contraption. My message can liberate everyone. If I manage to kind of get one person to think, then I'm a winner. So tonight, I have poured out my entire heart into this. Maybe tomorrow, it will be your own turn, right? Where you can also call in. That is, pick up your phone and call in and pour out your mind or heart as well. So to everybody who listen to my rants this evening, thank you, right? So once in a while, it is always like that, okay? And to those who probably joined us maybe late, you should try and watch this from the start. It's an interesting evening, I would say, except for those who wanted to be politically correct. Those who think that all we do is just to blame with no reason. It's up to you. Yeah? It is up to you. We will leave you in the hand of your whatever you believe in. The bottom line is this. In this contraption that they have created, none of us is safe. None of us is safe. The earlier you know this, the better for you. But if you don't, the better for you as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. I will see you again when I see you. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Ayíbi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Ayíbi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary Ayíbi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary. àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Máyégún Diary politico. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. Ìmọ̀ àyíṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ìmọ̀ àyíṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni. Mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ báàkì lẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni. Ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni. Ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́. Ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o. Ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.